By a show of hands, who has heard the term cognitive offloading? More than I thought. But now, by a show of hands, who uses AI frequently, whether that be weekly or every day? I'm included in that list. My name is Jake. I'm only 20 years old. I've been able to use AI within my later years in high school, my first 2 years of college, and in the workforce. I may be only 20, but I work a desk job and I use AI every single day. With the prevalence of AI comes the prevalence of a new term called cognitive offloading. For those of you who haven't heard the term, to define it, or to sum it up as, cognitive offloading is when your brain outsources its thinking due to being able to find answers quickly and fast. This term first came into prevalence with the start of the internet and search engines, and now it is even more prevalent with the use of AI. I want to show you a statistic that aligns with that. This statistic was taken by Stanford, who found that surveying just under 700 Swiss companies that from the change of 2022 to 2024, now over 75% of companies use at least one form of AI in their workflow. And I also want to show you a statistic that collides just with this one. However, it dives into the American education system. This is a graph of reading scores in the past 25 years in the United States. As you can see, when I said cognitive offloading started with the start of the internet, you could also see that reading scores declined when the internet became prevalent in the United States. And then with the use of AI within 2022 and 2024, it only exploded. Now I want to dive into my personal life because over the past year, I've had a significant change in how I act in my life. I started to notice around the past year that I've become less engaged in conversation, less engaged at school, and less engaged at work. My friends also have the same problem. Now, people say college is a time in your life when you change the most. Yet, my friend came to me and he said, I think, he pitched to me cognitive offloading, told me what it was, and I did some diving myself. I found a statistic that states from Forbes.com, they found that results showed that an increased AI use correlates with diminished critical thinking scores. Once I found out this, I decided last week to buy a book. This book is called Beyond Good and Evil by Friedrich Nietzsche. And if any of you who know who Nietzsche is or read philosophy know that this is not an easy book. This is probably the hardest undertaking that I've had in my college life aside from taking calculus. I'm only 20 pages into this book, yet I've had to read it 3 times over to really challenge myself. And that difference in my life, just over the past week of challenging my brain and giving it challenge, has really improved my life, improved how I speak to others, and improved my thinking. Now, I'm not here to stand in front of you today and to bash AI and tell you that it's a bad thing, because inherently it's not. It's how you use it. If you use AI to give you direct answers from your input, like, hey, what is this math problem? 2 plus 2 is 4. What is this homework question? And throw it in your homework, you might start to see cognitive offloading in your daily life. But if you use AI to build upon yourself and ask questions to make you think more, you might not see cognitive offloading. And I'm also not asking you to buy a book. But what I am asking you is, I'm not asking you to buy a book. What I am asking you is to challenge yourself, to challenge your brain, to challenge your mind, because you might start seeing a little bit more about yourself.